commentary on the Bhagavad Gita and how it relates to present-day life. Part 2, Dharma in Leadership, Energy Mastery and the Pathless Path, a sacred transmission in the voice of stillness. Opening transmission. What if true leadership was not about control, but clarity? What if power did not arise from dominance, but from stillness? And what if the greatest decisions of your life could not be solved by logic, but by resting in the self that watches all movement? This is not philosophy. It is the living wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita, still breathing across centuries, whispering not just to monks and mystics, but to business leaders, artists, parents, and anyone caught between duty and doubt. Today, we continue our sacred journey into the Gita's deepest truths, not as theory, but as a guide to navigating modern life with unshakable presence. 1. The Dharma of Leadership. The Gita opens not on a mountaintop, but a battlefield. And this battlefield is not far from us. It lives in our inbox, in our family dinner table, in our ethical dilemmas and work decisions. Arjuna is not weak. He is strong, aware, deeply sensitive, and it is because he sees clearly that he is paralyzed by choice. What is right when every path seems to cause harm? What is noble when all roles seem stained? This is the modern leader's crisis. The entrepreneur asked to lay off employees to save the business, the activist choosing between justice and peace, the parent choosing between boundaries and compassion. Krishna does not offer easy answers. He offers depth. He reminds Arjuna, your dharma is not always pleasant, but it is true. In today's world, this means stop seeking applause and start seeking alignment. Lead not for outcome, but for integrity. Act not to please, but to purify. When a leader acts from inner clarity, even fierce action becomes sacred. 2. Clarity in the midst of complexity. The modern world is not less spiritual than ancient times. It is simply louder. You are surrounded by conflicting values, shifting narratives, and endless opinions. The Gita does not ask you to silence the world. It asks you to locate the one place that is never confused, your witnessing awareness. This is what Krishna teaches through every verse. Be rooted in the self. Then act. Not act, then reflect. Not feel, then collapse. But first, still the mind in your center. Then, move. In practical life, this means, before sending that email, pause and observe your breath. Before reacting in an argument, step into the witness. Before making a life decision, ask not what will they think, but what remains still inside me when all else changes. This stillness is not detachment. It is laser-sharp clarity, a sword of inner seeing. 3. Beyond morality, the Gita's higher ethics. Perhaps the most misunderstood teaching in the Gita is this: abandon all duties, surrender to me alone. This is not a call to neglect responsibilities, but a call to rise above conditional ethics, to operate from a higher field. In modern life, you will face impossible situations. Do you report the truth if it will cost your job? Do you protect a friend if it breaks the law? Do you honor your marriage vows if the heart has gone silent? Krishna's teaching is not follow the rules. His teaching is follow the self. This self is not your ego, it is not your emotion, it is the deep ground of silent knowing, which, when contacted, removes all confusion. Modern life must rediscover this, that right action is not always what culture says. It is what truth whispers when you are most still. Energy Mastery, the subtle science of karma yoga. The Gita speaks in paradox. Act without attachment. Give your all and expect nothing. This is not poetic, it is energetic mastery. In today's performance-driven culture, most action is draining because it is entangled with expectation. You launch a business to be seen, you create art to be liked, you help someone to be appreciated, But the Gita offers a new way. Act as offering. Do not hold the fruit of your actions like a possession. Place it at the feet of the universe. This frees your energy. In practical terms, do your work, then let go. Create your project, then detach from the outcome. Help others, but do not demand their transformation. This is karma yoga, the art of clean action, the removal of psychic residue. It is not about doing less, it is about doing from stillness. 5. Inner war and the false self. We often say, I'm torn, I don't know what to do, I feel split. These are not small feelings. They are the inner Kurukshetra, the battlefield between the soul and the ego. In business, this might appear as, should I scale this product if it violates my ethics? Should I compete aggressively or collaborate transparently? Should I fire this person who's failing or give them another chance? The Gita teaches, the confusion is not in the choice, it is in the false identity that is making the choice. When you believe you are your title, your story, your reputation, every decision becomes loaded. But when you act from the self, the one who is not born and does not die, then choice becomes easy, not because it is pain-free, but because it is clear. 6. Business as sadhana. Modern entrepreneurship often feels like war. Deadlines, investors, market pressure. But what if business was not about winning, but about purifying? What if the purpose of every challenge, every conflict, every delay was not to frustrate you, but to shape you? The Gita turns battle into yoga. You can turn your career into sadhana by shifting from ambition to offering, from control to trust, from ego to awareness. Even your meetings become meditation. Your spreadsheets become prayers. Your goals become offerings at the altar of Dharma. This is not poetic metaphor. This is spiritual technology. 7. Love without possession. The Gita's teaching on relationship. Most people think the Gita is a book of war, but buried inside it is a teaching of radical love. Not sentimental love, not romantic dependence, but love without attachment. Krishna's love for Arjuna is not controlling. He guides, he reveals, but he does not force. Likewise, in today's relationships, we must learn to love without agenda. This means holding space for others without needing them to change, speaking truth but letting go of how they hear it, giving fully without tracking what we receive. This is the love that frees. In families, partnerships, teams, this love becomes a doorway to the self. 8 practical applications in a distracted world. How do we live the Gita today? Begin with the breath. The breath is the battlefield. Where your awareness lands, there your life moves. You don't need a chariot, you need a pause. Before you speak, pause. Before you act, breathe. Before you choose, witness. This is modern spirituality, not retreats in the Himalayas, but stillness in the boardroom, not renouncing the world, but renouncing confusion. You are not here to win the world, you are here to remember yourself within it. And when you do, all your actions will flow from truth. Mystical reflection. The Gita is not asking you to become spiritual. It is asking you to remember that you already are. It is not a sermon, it is a mirror. And what it reflects is this, that beyond your striving, beyond your fear, beyond your roles and regrets, there is a light that does not flicker, and that light is you. Let your actions arise from there. Let your voice speak from there. Let your business grow from there. Let your love flow from there. Then even this world, so full of noise, will bow before your stillness. If this sacred transmission stirred something deep within, I invite you to subscribe and become part of this remembering. Let this channel be a sanctuary, a mirror, a guide. Your presence here helps this work reach others who are ready to awaken. You may also become a supporting member, helping to keep these sacred teachings alive in a world that so deeply needs them. And in our next transmission, we will explore what yogis mean by becoming the space between atoms, a journey into subtle sight, deep perception, and the energy behind siddhis,